CNN's Ed Lavandera reports. And again, we warn you, this story contains some strong images and some strong language.
I told the police that he was going to kill me.
This is the story of a family haunted by the tortured past of a husband and father.
He beat me and kicked me in the face.
He would stand over the top of me with his leather belt, and he'd swing overhand and just hit me about 20 times or so.
The man's wife and son asked to remain anonymous, so we'll call them Elizabeth and Chris. Now, 25 years after the man's death, they are learning what triggered those violent outbursts. As a young boy, his family says he'd been viciously beaten at a now-defunct reform school for boys in Marianna, Florida, a school now under state investigation.
It explains it. Nothing to me could excuse it. But it does help me to understand why he was that way.
I don't see how he would have done that to his child after it was done to him. And I've hated him for many years for it.
In recent months, dozens of former students at the Florida Reform School have come forward to detail excruciating stories of abuse, and they've asked investigators to determine who, if anyone, is buried under these 31 unmarked crosses in the school grounds. The men are known as the White House Boys, named after this abandoned building where the students were allegedly beaten by school administrators.
We were their entertainment, and that is the God's truth. We were entertainment.
When Elizabeth started hearing these stories, it was an awakening she never expected.
We were the ripple-down effect of their abuse on my husband, his abuse on us.
Elizabeth says a lifetime of drinking killed him, cirrhosis of the liver. Chris read the stories of the White House Boys and couldn't believe the words.
The way that they used to beat them kids is what he used to do to me. He'd make me lay face down on the bed and grab the end of the bed.
We've tried to confirm that Elizabeth's husband was a student at the Marianna, Florida Reform School, but state officials say they will no longer confirm the identities of former students, even though they've helped us with these requests on previous stories. And state juvenile justice officials say they will not comment on any of these cases until the investigation is complete. The details this family describes are similar to what other former students have told us. Stories so brutal, Elizabeth and Chris weren't sure whether to believe what they thought could be the ramblings of an angry man. Chris recalls the stories his father told.
They made them line up outside of a fence and said that when they turned the lights on, to shoot whoever was at the fence. And when they turned the lights on, there was some black kids trying to get out of the fence.
Chris says his father shot one of those kids in the face. Florida investigators are in the process of collecting these stories of the reform school's former students. Most are now in their 60s, but many of the school's former instructors have passed away.
Because of what they did to him, it warped him so bad, beat him down so bad, that he didn't know any other way of dealing with things.
It's not clear what will become of the White House Boys investigation, but for Elizabeth and Chris, it's helped them understand a man who passed along a lifetime of pain. Ed Lavandera, CNN.